Rodgers is coming off a career season with Aston Villa, where he delivered 14 goals and 12 assists in all competitions to earn a place on England's World Cup squad. He has reportedly been a transfer target for Arsenal, but a move to the Gunners was hijacked by Chelsea, swooping in to make him the first major signing of Xabi Alonso's Chelsea project. So, Charlie, are you surprised to see Morgan Rodgers choosing Chelsea over Arsenal? Do you see him potentially taking his game to the next level at Stamford Bridge?
I'm not surprised, given the fact that Arsenal are the defending Premier League champions, and whether he wanted to play in maybe a role that he wasn't sure about, the rotations versus being the guy. If Chelsea's spending 157 million on you, you're going to play every game. You're expected to play, and so I think it's a new project that's more exciting for him, and I'm not surprised. And I'm not spending 157 million on Morgan Rodgers either, to be honest. I think that number is exuberant. He's a good player, very good player, but 157 million.
Yeah, I just don't know how Chelsea continues to kind of navigate the high seas.
The Club World Cup is probably still helping them here in that case.
Potentially, Xabi Alonso, I'm a huge fan of him as a coach, and if he's going to greenlight a move of this stature, then I feel like he's got a really good idea of how he's going to be utilized and how he wants to play. And I do agree with you that he will be a pivotal player for them.
Yeah, where do you see him fitting in with Chelsea with Cole Palmer? What part of the pitch? Do you see him playing on the left? Do you see him playing central?
That's a good question. I mean, Caicedo's going to be holding down the base. I assume Enzo Fernandez is going to get sold. Right, there's already been some smoke about him going to Real Madrid. Yeah. I don't know if that changes now after this World Cup final or the World Cup overall.
I don't think he's particularly liked in England at the moment. He can be, I mean, Morgan Rodgers for England at this World Cup, I saw him play right wing, left wing, center midfield. Tuchel moved him around a lot. He's not supposed to be a utility player, but he has that quality that he could play several positions. I hope he doesn't get lost in this Chelsea factory of purchases.
Yeah.
Because he has quality.
Well, that's the Chelsea side that aren't playing in Europe next season either. They're going to be starting their Premier League campaign against Fulham, so that's a London derby there.
Xabi Alonso, I'm going to give an A to. Okay. Because despite the blip at Real Madrid, but that is a club that has eaten up many a good coach, I'm going to give an A to because I've got great faith in him. I just think he's a class act as a player. We've seen he's a class act as a manager. Look what he did in Germany with one of the smaller teams. Well, basically with not Bayern Munich. So absolutely amazing. I'm really hot on Chelsea this season. I really think they are going to make huge strides. I think Tottenham might gain more places, but because they're starting further back, but theirs might be more impressive. Morgan Rodgers, A for me, because he's a top-class player. Lacroix, he's a B+. Palestra, you talked about him, you didn't mention his pace. This boy is an absolute flying machine. He can catch pigeons. He's ridiculous. Now, him on that left-hand side, he is just frightening. I like him. Marco, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? How
are you going to actually rate Palestra, or are you going to talk about him?
Oh, I'm giving him a B. He's a B all day long because he's an adaptation period. Barco, I don't know too much about, if I'm brutally honest. Danny Welbeck, I'm going a solid B as well, because if he can just bring 2/3 of the goals he scored for Brighton last season, then plus his influence around the place. So there's not a single C there for me. I think they're really, really good signings, and it's bubbling under nicely. For me, this is under Todd Bowley's ownership. This is Chelsea Mark II. This is a reset.
I think Barco is probably a B. I'd move Palestri up to an A-. I think the fact he can play on both sides with the pace, he's been fantastic in pre-season. So there's a few that I'd go a bit higher on, and a couple I'd go a bit lower on.
So overall grade?
A-.
A-.
Yeah. For me. Been really good.
Okay, nice.
I think most people will say that he's not a likeable player, but he's a player that wears his heart on his sleeve. He always gives 100%. I think it's a big miss for Chelsea if he does go. And I would say that probably City need a player like him going into this season with the situation that they're in. So, yeah, I think City would welcome him. And I think that the boos from the Chelsea fans are not as strong as you know, you get, when players get booed, sometimes you can just feel, it's the end and they have to move on. But I don't think this is one of them.
A little bit pantomime, Shaka?
A little bit, and I think part of that is because it's pre-season friendly and it doesn't mean an awful lot. Fans are allowed to kind of express themselves now as much as any. You do wonder how many of these fans will be season ticket holders and present for the Stamford Bridge opener. But at the same time, you do kind of understand the fans' perspective. As Alex was talking about 4 or 5 months ago, it was we wanted to live in Madrid. You can understand that. Now, you swap London for Manchester, that's a different conversation, even if it is in Needham's West Wing. That's a more difficult pill for Chelsea fans to swallow.
Title challenge, yeah. Title challenge. Really, you got with Alonso, yeah. I really rate Alonso. They had a disastrous second half of the season last year, with everything with the manager leaving, and then the recruitment they brought in over senior. I've always defended them that, the new owners for 3-4 years in the job, that's still relatively new. They won a couple of trophies. They haven't quite got it right. Yes, they love a signing. You have to pivot. You can't do the same thing over and over. It's a definition of insanity. So they've probably looked at it and gone, you know what? Maybe we did have a couple of those older heads back there, particularly at the back. We might have been a better team. And they've looked at the explosiveness up front. They're stacked in every department up there. And then I read, obviously, they're looking at Alex Scott as well. I'm thinking this is the Harlem Globetrotters with the amount of talent they're trying to put in their team. So I think Rodgers is a good signing for them. I know some people think the fee is inflated. When you sign a 23-year-old for that kind of money, when you leverage it out over 10 years with his salary, it's probably 15, 18 million a year in total. So for an England international player that ilk who hasn't hit his prime or his peak, that's the going market rate.
And what do you see Chelsea's ambitions for this season? Because we were talking just before.
Title challenge. Title challenge.
Really, you got
with Alonso, yeah. I really rate Alonso. I know the Madrid
didn't work out. Real Madrid.
Yeah, it went sour, but I still think if they'd stuck with him, Madrid would have finished better than they did, under Arbeloa. So I think Alonso is that good.
Chelsea wrapped up their pre-season campaign with an impressive 3-1 victory over Real Sociedad, and one of the biggest talking points was the performance of new signing Morgan Rodgers. Making his first appearance in Chelsea colours at Stamford Bridge, Rodgers immediately looked hungry to make an impact. Just 11 minutes into the game, Chelsea's pressure created an opportunity. João Pedro's header was saved by the Real Sociedad goalkeeper, but Rodgers reacted quickly, stayed alert inside the box and followed up to put the ball into the back of the net. First home appearance. First Chelsea goal. What a start! And it wasn't only the goal that caught the attention. Rodgers looked confident, powerful and direct whenever he got involved. He was constantly looking to move forward, combine with his teammates and attack the spaces in front of him. That's exactly what Chelsea supporters will want to see from their new attacking star. Rodgers has the ability to carry the ball at pace, beat defenders and create problems in the final third. Under Xabi Alonso, those qualities could become even more dangerous. Alonso is building a Chelsea side that wants to be aggressive with the ball, and Rodgers looks like a player who can fit perfectly into that vision. Real Sociedad eventually found an equalizer before halftime, but Chelsea came back strongly after the break. And once again, Rodgers remained an important part of the attacking threat. While João Pedro eventually stole the headlines with his brilliant brace, Rodgers had already done his job, giving the Stamford Bridge crowd a glimpse of what could be coming this season. For a player making his first appearance at the stadium, scoring so early is a huge confidence boost. And remember, this is only the beginning. Chelsea have invested heavily in Morgan Rodgers because they believe he can become a major player for the club. Now the pressure is on him to take that pre-season confidence into competitive football. The Real Sociedad game was also an important moment for Xabi Alonso, giving the new Chelsea boss his first victory at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea finished pre-season with a 3-1 win, Rodgers scored on his home debut, João Pedro continued his excellent form, and Alonso now has just one thing left to do, get this team ready for the real season. And if Morgan Rodgers' first Stamford Bridge performance is anything to go by,